All right, guys, welcome back to Football Podcast Episode 8. I'm here with Ike on the mic, Rory's back, and we got our man D-Mac in for this episode. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. We're going to start with some NFL news. Going around the NFL for the past 2 weeks, we've had coaches getting fired, most recently as this afternoon. We've got 9 head coaching openings currently. A little bit surprising that there are this many. This is over 25% of the league without head coaches right now. And those jobs would be the Ravens job, the Browns job, the Falcons job, the Dolphins job, the Giants job, the Raiders job, the Cardinals job, the Titans job, and then just as recently as this afternoon, the Pittsburgh Steelers job. All right, guys, we'll start with you, Ike. Who do you think the most appealing job is right now? What franchise can go out there and get any head coach that they want because they're just the most appealing to everybody?
I honestly think the most appealing franchise that any coach could go to right now is the New York Giants. One, it's New York, and two, they have a really young, good core that they can build around, and they really just need some defensive help and somebody that could help develop Jackson Dart. So I think the Giants is honestly the most appealing. But there are a lot of good options right now with good teams like the Ravens with Lamar. You got the Steelers who have some youth, and then you got other teams that you got so many teams. You got the Dolphins who have some good pieces, the Falcons, and then just others. But I think the Giants overall are the most appealing.
All right, we'll go to you, D-Mac. Who do you think is the most appealing?
It's a two-sided question. I think under each team is the same in terms of roster makeup wise. It would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think it's just because and now I am biased. I am a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but like the history of the organization, how well run the organization is. We've had 3 head coaches since 1969. And that doesn't happen ever. So like we went from Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher and then to Mike Tomlin, and all 3 Hall of Fame coaches, and then now we're stuck with this void. There's a reason that people stay in Pittsburgh that long, and it's because the community loves football. The organization is always well run. Art Rooney and the Rooney family have run it since the dawn of time. But in terms of like how the roster looks right now, it's the New York Giants. Just because of you got Malik Neighbors, you got Cam Scatterboo, you got Jackson Dart. They're like 3, like their 1-2-3 punch on offense is like rookies or damn near rookies. In Malik Neighbors, who's a second or third year.
It'll be his third year next year.
It'll be his third year. Yeah. So like it's. Those are my 2, and I would say Pittsburgh just because of the history and how well run the organization is. But in terms of roster makeup, they've got some promising pieces, but they had the unction going on quite a bit of the year. So yeah.
All right, Rory, what do you got?
I agree with the Giants pick. I think the Giants definitely the pieces and parts that make up a good team, and with the right coach, I think in some good direction, they could really make a splash and make some moves this offseason and boost up the defense a little bit, and probably get themselves an opportunity to take a shot at the playoffs and at least be a dark horse. But to me, it's the Falcons. I think when you have Bijan, you have Drake London, you literally have a bona fide wide receiver 1, the running back you need. Penix needs some development. I don't know what else is going to happen with Kirk Cousins, but I think you got to figure out the quarterback position. But that defense is young, it's youthful, and it has a lot of firepower in it. Those guys tackle hard and fast. They are vicious on defense. They are a tough team to beat, as we saw. Stafford struggled against them. So I would say that the Falcons have a pretty good opening there too.
Yeah, I do want to bring this up too. KT, did you want to do yours?
Go ahead, and then I can get to mine.
Okay, I just wanted to bring this up because I think that this is one of the most unusual like coaching carousels, like because of how big they are and how many openings are available. I just don't think it's good for football like this because, I mean, some of these teams should not have let these coaches go. Like for example, the Falcons. They ended the season with four straight wins, and they had a lot of injuries. Like I don't know how you can hold that against Raheem Morris, who's a very good defensive guy, defensive minded coach. And it's like I would love to have him as my defensive guy, head coach. And it's like there's just a lot of teams like that like shouldn't have let their coach go because of just how impatient some of these franchises are.
Yeah, very impatient. Very impatient, some of these franchises. Immediate results, immediate gratification is what these franchises are looking for, and that's starting to become the expectation in the NFL. I'll go ahead and give you mine. I actually have a 1A and a 1B as to who the most appealing job is. My 1A is obviously the New York Giants. You've got a young quarterback in Jackson Dart on a rookie contract, so that gives you a lot of flexibility. You have a star left tackle in Andrew Thomas, phenomenal player, Pro Bowl tackle. Cam Scatteraboo at running back, elite, very good running back. Is going to have a huge year next year. Neighbors coming off the ACL tear, may not be ready towards midseason, but he's going to be a star wide receiver. You've got the number 5 pick in the draft this year, which can go any sort of way. You can get yourself another wide receiver and a guy like Carnell Tate. Maybe a guy like Arvell Reese will fall to the Giants at 5, or you can get yourself a safety in Caleb Downs, who's definitely going to be there at number 5. So you can go any sort of way there with pick number 5. You cannot go wrong. And you also have one of the best defensive fronts in the entire league. Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau. These guys are monsters up front. Now, the Giants just need to get some sort of veteran head coach in there. I think a guy like John Harbaugh that can come in there and just mesh that group all together. That is something that the Giants did not have. They have the most potential, I would say, out of this group to become immediate contenders next year, which makes them very appealing to me as my 1A. But my 1B, let's not overthink this, guys. The Baltimore Ravens. And it's for one simple reason. You've got Lamar Jackson. You walk into a situation as a head coach with an MVP quarterback, a multiple-time MVP quarterback. How can you go wrong with that? I don't care what the rest of the roster looks like. You give me a multiple-time MVP quarterback, and all I got to work on is just instincting some habits into this guy, some better habits that he's had, practice habits. We're rocking and rolling. I'm saying, look, I don't care what you give me. We can go to the playoffs and become a threat right away. I know the Ravens missed the playoffs this year because of a missed field goal in Pittsburgh late, but that was without Lamar even playing in half the games this year. The Ravens roster speaks for itself, but you give me an MVP quarterback like that, and I'm saying let's get to work, guys. I think this is obviously the 1B job out there on the coaching market right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Did you guys see what the Ravens owner said when they asked him about if Tyler Loop made the field goal, would Harbaugh still have a job? And
Yeah, he said for one more week.
he said for one more week. That he's saying that about a Super Bowl winning head coach who's been one of the best coaches in the league, like in recent history. Like I don't like it at all.
Well, let's
what
also
do you guys
remember
think?
this real quick, if you guys don't mind. Tyler Huntley was the quarterback for what, 5-6 games, or a backup?
I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure the game count, but he was the quarterback for a good amount of time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
Lamar was
at
hurt
least
for a
4.
decent amount of time. Yeah,
So
Lamar was
pretty
hurt for a
sure-
decent amount.
Lamar was hurt, I think, for 4 weeks. So Huntley was the quarterback for 4 weeks, and you're expected to go win all those games. And then Derrick Henry was also hurt at some point in time, I believe so too. So like, it wasn't like the offense was just completely all together. And the defense, it's not bad. It needs some work, but
They also had injuries too on their defense.
exactly, like they
Yeah.
were injury prone. Like, this isn't on Harbaugh, in my opinion. Not at all.
No, not at all. Not at
Yeah,
all.
I think we're all in agreement there. I think the Harbaugh firing, I remember getting texts from guys that I am really good friends with that also know football. I got 4 or 5 text messages because I was working out when the news hit, and I look at my phone afterwards, and I'm like, why is my phone blown up? And it was like all these Twitter notifications and text messages, and I was completely blown away. And I had that same conversation with multiple people. Was it not a lot of people saw that firing coming? Unlike the Steelers one, so the Steelers technically wasn't a firing. It was him stepping away from coaching. From what I've heard, there may have been a conversation with the higher ups that they wanted to go in a different direction. and they wanted to just kind of, give Mike Tomlin that oh, you've been here for 19 years, you've won us 2 Super Bowls,
sure.
so give him the dignification of being able to walk out on his own terms. But that one is that is a contrast between the Ravens job. So the Ravens job shocked me, right? But the Steelers one, being a Steelers fan, watching all these games, the last time we won a playoff game was when I was a sophomore in high school. I've got a master's degree now. I just and it's we get there at 9-8, 10-7. Maybe your occasional 11-6 if you're lucky. Nothing more, nothing less than that, and then you get killed. And I saw KT, you may have seen it. I shared it on my close friend story on Instagram. It was a collage of every result of the first round playoff games that we've played in, and it was back to back to back to back. It was just wham, 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 wham. We get killed.
Yeah, it was ass kickings. Yeah,
it was. That's a nice way to put that. Especially when the Cleveland Browns made it that year, and I watched them go up 28-0 in the first quarter. So
it was awesome.
Yeah, it sucked. No,
it wasn't.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, something's got to change. And it was funny because I got a text message from one of my good buddies, Tyler, who literally texted me and said, "D-Mac, it's noon. Why has Mike Tomlin not been fired?" And then less than half an hour later, the news came out that he was stepping down from coaching. So I love the move. Now, I'm really thankful for Mike Tomlin. He won us 2 Super Bowls. He literally has never, ever had a losing season in 19 years, which I don't think will ever be replicated in football history. That's almost impossible to do. But when you're going through the same thing over and over and over again, and you're in this purgatory of, okay, well, we're not getting a good draft pick. We're not getting a bad draft pick, but I'd rather get a bad draft pick and have a chance at a Super Bowl, or not be stuck in this purgatory. I'd rather just go 0-17 and get the first overall pick. At least there's some excitement of, oh, we're going to build something, It's just been the same recycled thing over and over and over again, and we haven't been able to capitalize on anything. So I'd rather and now I'm spoiled, but I'd rather just suck for a couple years and get a Myles Garrett level talent that the Browns got at 1. Unfortunately, they're wasting his career. But a talent like that, trade TJ Watt, go out and get, and that's crazy for me to say because I love him, but you've got a lot of linebacker and edge talent behind him. Go and trade him. Go and get some picks. Maybe trade some other pieces as well. Bring in some youth. Go draft heavy this year and draft strategically. I like what Omar Khan's been doing, our GM, in the draft and in free agency, but it's time for a little bit of a refresher, and that starts with the head coach.
Yeah, very well said. Let's move into the next segment here, guys. Out of your main job that you listed, who would you like to see be that head coach for that team? Ike, we'll go back to you. Who would you like to see be the next coach of the New York Giants?
Oh, of the New York Giants?
Yeah, because that was your number 1 team that you picked.
Okay, well, for the New York Giants, they obviously need a defensive guy because that's what they've struggled with recently. And I think the best defensive guy on the market right now is Mike Tomlin, believe it or not. Now, he parted ways. He stepped away. We don't even know if he's going to end up coaching again for another team or even if he wants to. He might end up doing a different job, whether it's in media, like what you said earlier, in the booth, if he's doing live broadcasting games and stuff, or if he's just done coaching and wants to call it. But I do think Mike Tomlin would be the best defensive guy available. I've always been a Mike Tomlin fan. I think that Steelers fans have been spoiled, even though that they're 0-7 in their last 7 playoff games. I think Mike Tomlin's a very good coach, and I disagree with David a little bit. I agree with pretty much everything he said, but I disagree with him where he was talking about how they need a reset. I think that Mike Tomlin was good enough to stay their coach because of how much success he's had there and how little he never fails there. He never failed. Like the failing is not getting a top overall pick. It's just he doesn't lose there. Like he's lost recently in the playoffs, but he doesn't lose like all season. He doesn't lose all season. And he always finds a way to get his team to the playoffs. Like I've said before, it's like they're the Guardians, the Indians of the NFL. They always find a way to make it, but they just can't go on that run. And he has won 2 Super Bowls there. But I think it's Mike Tomlin. If he was still available, I would say that Mike Tomlin would be the best for the Giants.
Can I counter that real quick?
Sure.
As a fan of both the Guardians and the Pittsburgh Steelers, at least the Guardians give me hope. The Steelers, every single year, I go into the first round of the playoffs and know we are going to get railed.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But I will say one thing. There's only one man that gives me hope, and it's Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, well, yeah. You can't look at the Steelers roster and say there's one guy that gives. I mean, Watt.
But, I'm going to give you one guy, and it's Mike Tomlin.
Nah.
I'm taking Mike Tomlin. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. He never
I don't think he's a bad coach at all. I think he's a Hall of Fame coach, but
I just disagree with the Steelers fans when they say that Mike Tomlin's not good and they wanted him out. Like, obviously, it's like they've lost so much recently in the playoffs where it's like, all right, maybe it's time for a reset. But like, Mike Tomlin's like one of the all-time greats.
So I should probably reword that and not as much of a reset as a refresh. So do you guys remember when the Panthers years ago fired Ron Rivera after he went to the Super Bowl and did all those good things for the Panthers? Mm-hmm. Ron Rivera is an elite coach. I still hold that. I think it's a very similar situation with the Steelers. I think that it's not about him being a bad coach. I just think they need new blood and they need a new situation for both sides because it's stagnant. Right. And stagnation does nothing for anybody. It's you can say all you want. Oh yeah, he wins a lot and he's never had a losing season. Which is it's great. But when you've done the same thing, insanity is the definition of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what the Steelers have done since 2016. Is that it's just the same thing over and over and over again, and I get tired of turning on my TV and wanting to gouge my eyes out, So, and then to go back to your defensive coordinator, so I would go Raheem Morris with that job, but
that's a perfectly good. Perfectly fits too.
And I think that's the best fit because Mike Tomlin is actually not allowed to coach in professional football this year because of his contract with the Steelers.
I see. So he won't be coaching at all.
He will not be coaching no matter what. He stepped down. He still had a year left on his contract, so he will not be coaching football next year, period. Okay. What happens after that, I'm almost certain that he will get back to coaching, but it won't be next year.
The Giants are going to need a coach this year, so it's obviously not going to be Mike Tomlin. Then, even though I think that would be the best fit. My next guy on my list was Raheem Morris for defense, so that would be a perfect fit for them too.
That pans out. All right, Rory, what do you think for your Falcons? Falcon Rory.
For the Falcons, I would take John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin. Either one, I think, would get the job done. Personally, though, really honestly, I'd take Harbaugh, just because I think he knows what to do. Even I just feel like he's the guy for that. He knows what to do schematically. He's a very, very good coach. I would take Tomlin, but I feel like Tomlin's going to be almost the same as Raheem Morris, and I wouldn't say they're different coaches, and one is much more prestigious than the other. But I feel like the philosophies are kind of similar. That's just kind of what I gathered from the season. It kind of seemed that way, and so I would take a guy like Harbaugh who has he's coming off of he's pissed off. 100% he's pissed off. He lost his job with an organization that really should have kept him, and so I think he would go and try to prove a point right there and then, and I think he would do it.
Well said, Rory. Yeah, for my New York Giants, I obviously want John Harbaugh as the next head coach. Like I've talked about before and on some of my videos that I've made on the page, John Harbaugh catapults the Giants to becoming playoff contenders next season. That guy knows how to win. He will get that group of players ready to go, ready to play. and there's no more of this underperforming nonsense like we've seen with Brian Dable. As the head coach of the Giants, Brian Dable took the Giants to the playoffs in his first season with not a whole lot of talent. The more and more talent that he got on that team, the worse and worse he did. Now, part of that was on Joe Shane, the general manager. Nuts how he kept them. But also bringing in Harbaugh means that he would have the power to bring in his own GM with him. He has that kind of power with being an 18-year veteran head coach for the Baltimore Ravens. And that getting a new GM is something that I think is very important for the Giants, and that's the direction I would like to see them go in, is getting a new GM. But on top of that, you give Harbaugh a clean draft board with a new GM ready to go, he will not miss. And I'm excited for the future of the New York Giants. If Harbaugh is our next coach, he is our guy.
Can I bring up one more thing too about what we were talking about earlier about how the AFC North now has 3 head coaching jobs available, and the one that's not available is Zach Taylor on the Bengals, who's arguably the worst coach of the division. I just think that's really interesting, and I wonder if what's going to happen in this division. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I'd like to see it get a little chaotic. I'd like to see a flip-flop of coaches in the division. Like Stefanski go to the Steelers, Harbaugh go to the Browns, or something funny like that. I'm rooting for chaos there. But obviously I want Harbaugh to go to the Giants, like I said. But how about a little chaos in the AFC North? Everybody starts stealing from each other, and we'll see what happens there.
Chaos is the AFC North's middle name. That whole division is just like hard-nosed football, beating the living shit out of each other. It's just like that's what that is. So going back to your guys' points about John Harbaugh, I would say that he's the open, like the prime opening for every job, period.
I completely agree.
However,
I actually disagree, but go ahead.
I think that he is almost a shoo-in to be the Dolphins' next head coach. And it's because of the connection that he has with the Ross family. I had to look it up and make sure, because I did not include him in any of my stuff that I wrote down, because I was almost certain that he was going to the Dolphins. So it's Steve Ross is he's a really big higher up in the Dolphins organization. And they're very close with the Harbaugh family. And so I just kind of have assumed that is the direction that it'll go eventually. I don't know if that, I may be wrong and he could go somewhere else, but before that job opened, I assumed that he was going to go to the New York Giants, because it just makes so much sense from both sides. He gets it. He inherits a young, talented roster and all these things, but I think he'll be persuaded to go to the Dolphins because he'll have a lot more say in what happens, and he'll get to do a lot more in terms of the draft room and things like that. Like you said, bringing in a new GM. In terms of the Steelers head coaching job, because that's the one that I brought up as like the premier job, I want Kevin Stefanski. And that you were talking about the chaos. I mean, Kevin Stefanski was a 2-time coach of the year. Now,
yes, he was.
I don't think that the Browns just wasn't the right fit, and I don't know if the Browns is the right fit for anybody, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know what needs to happen with the Cleveland Browns, and I feel bad and empathize with Browns fans. You guys are the most loyal people on the planet. Because if that was me, I don't know if I could stomach being a Browns fan for my entire life, and I'm lucky that I'm not. But I love Kevin Stefanski. I love his energy. He's a great coach. And we need somebody. He's more of a offensive, defensive? Stefanski? Offensive. That's what I thought.
That's why it would work.
Exactly. And I good Lord knows that we need work on the offensive side of the ball, because our only
what you mean? Arthur Smith's the man.
All right, I watched the game last night, and I had to work at 6:00 in the morning this morning, and so I stayed up way past what I was supposed to watch this horrific football game, and watch check down for a 2-yard loss, and and a bubble screen to Jonnu Smith that gets absolutely nowhere, or run up the middle when there's a run stuff and it's obvious that it's being shown. Arthur Smith is a terrorist, and he needs fired. But that's besides the point. Arthur Bin Laden is what I've liked to call him recently.
The real ones know when he was worse on the Falcons. That's when it was really bad too.
Yeah, but and so I was
he wouldn't use Bijan. He would never use Bijan.
Yeah, and I was actually excited when we hired him, because I was like, oh, it's a head coach. It might be different now that he's going from a head coach to a coordinator, because a lot of people in this league are much better coordinators than they are head coach. It's just a fact. So it's like Chip Kelly in college ball. He was a terrible head coach at UCLA and then won a national title his first year with Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of guys that are like that. I thought that was going to be the case, and it sure wasn't. It sure was not. So I'd like an offensive-minded head coach. I'd like to go out and find a fresh new OC, and don't do anything. Now I mean, don't do anything with the defense in general, but don't do anything with the defensive staff in Pittsburgh. Let that be. Let them stay.
Yeah.
That has been locked down for years. That has never been the issue. But go and get a new offensive staff and kind of figure out what you need to do, including a head coach, an offensive-minded head coach. Please. My birthday is on Saturday. Steelers. All I want for my birthday is an offensive-minded head coach. Please, for the love of God, give me offense.
Okay, so David, you brought up that some NFL head coaches in the league are better as coordinators, and you also brought up Browns fans. I'm a Browns fan, so I would like to talk about a guy that I would like to see in Cleveland who also fits that narrative of being a better coordinator than he was as a head coach. Mike McDaniel, another offensive-minded guy who was way better as the offensive coordinator for the Dolphins than the head coach for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think that would be a perfect guy in Cleveland who we could move over to our offensive coordinator, call plays for us, and we can even elevate Jim Schwartz, to our head coaching job. And he's been very good in Cleveland in his stint in Cleveland running the defense. And I know that they're interviewing guys right now. We interviewed the Seahawks defensive coordinator. There was another guy who the Browns just recently interviewed. But I think that is what I would like to see the Browns do going forward.
Yeah, both those jobs need an offensive-minded coach. I live with a Browns fan currently, and I watched his pain all year as the NFL season went on. I felt bad, and then he watched my pain last night, and he felt bad for me. And it's both the same situation. We're now both sitting on our asses watching the rest of the playoffs happen, and neither of our teams are playing, and we both don't have a head coach. So we need
the Giants saved you
offensive-minded
both.
head coaches.
The Giants saved you both a beach chair in Cancun next to us. All right, fellas, we got to keep the ball rolling because we are at 28 minutes right now. Good segment, really good points for you guys. Let's roll into the wild card weekend. It was this past weekend. We have some games we want to recap. Starting off with the first game that took place on Saturday, the Rams beat the Panthers in what was a back-and-forth shootout. Both quarterbacks struggled at times, but then both quarterbacks also looked very locked in at times. Stafford, looked a little shaky there for the first three quarters. Then he leads a dandy of a game-winning drive. Bryce Young, same thing, looked a little shaky. Great ball to Jalen Coker in the corner of the end zone there that gave the Panthers the lead late in the fourth quarter before Stafford crushed their hopes and dreams with the vintage Stafford drive, why he might win the MVP. Rams are moving on to the divisional round. They're taking on the Bears. Anything to add? We'll start with you, Rory. Anything to add in that game?
No, I would just say that I think there was some weaknesses exposed there. I think that we saw a Rams defense that, some people thought was probably top 3, top 5 in the league. And we saw a Panthers team that has, they have some pieces and parts that are good, but I wouldn't their offensive line's really solid. They have Tet, they have, a good running back duo in Hubbard and Dowdle, but I would say that there was some weaknesses exposed there. And I don't think that they're as formidable of a defense as they were made out to be earlier on. This is now the second time that those teams have played, and both teams have been higher scoring, and I think that there's, the Bears could pretty easily, I think, knock them out with a high offensive game if they play better than they did against the Packers. I also think that either the Seahawks or the 49ers can knock them out pretty easily. I don't think that they're a team that's going to be favored to go to the Super Bowl. But outside of that, I thought it was a really fun game to watch, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, excellent game. This whole wild card weekend, aside from kind of last night and a little bit of that Sunday night game,
Mm-hmm.
just for the viewers spectator point and like the viewers viewpoint,
It was awesome.
excellent football games. Excellent football games from the opening kick to the final whistle. Just everyone was on the edge of their seat for all of these games. They were phenomenal. And now let's move into the next game. What a comeback by the Chicago Bears on Saturday night against the Green Bay Packers. Down 21-3 at half. They looked dead in the water. The Packers looked like they were running away with that football game. And then the Iceman, Caleb Williams, leaves them from the dead. They're kicking field goals in the red zone to all of a sudden they're scoring touchdowns. They get the lead. But let's talk, guys, a little bit about the Packer collapse. That's the second time in the past, what was it? They played, was it the Saturday before Christmas that they played at Soldier Field? I don't know the exact date, but it was very recently. It was after the Parsons ACL
It was really
injury.
recent.
But it was the second time that the Packers have given up the lead late and lost to the Chicago Bears. Let's talk a little bit about the Packers collapse. You guys have anything you want to add? Anybody can go. Floor is open to any of you guys.
Dave, you could go first.
I have a former roommate that I live with down in South Carolina from Chicago. Huge Bears fan. He was texting me throughout the game. I didn't get to watch the first half, and I watched the second half. And I have watched a lot of Bears games, both last year and this year, specifically last year when they were kind of trying to figure things out with Caleb Williams and mesh with that new group. And I think it was a pretty general consensus that the people around the league thought that the Bears were going to have a breakout year this year. And that's exactly what they have. They had a lot of heartbreak last year, and they were a young team that collapsed in big moments. And now they're a year better, and everything that was going wrong for them last year is going right for them this year. They've been in a lot of these games. So if I'm down even 10, 14 points in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bears, you shouldn't be hanging anything up yet. And they've proved that. They are ready to rally. They're strong mentally. They're driven. They're focused, and they make big plays down the stretch. And that's their brand of football that they have identified themselves with. And I loved watching that game. I kind of knew once they scored that first touchdown, I said they get a stop, and it's
game on.
A game. Yeah, it's a game. So I don't ever let my roommate know I said this, but I love the Bears. I kind of crapped on them a lot last year, but they've done a phenomenal job this year. I like them going forward. I think that game's going to be a great game that they play in the divisional round.
Your secret is safe with me, D-Mac.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, recapping the game, like I just coming into the season, I did not think I thought the Bears were going to be like third in the division. But I seriously underestimated Ben Johnson and what he was able to do when he came over. Like Ben Johnson is that dude, and like even when the Bears were down 21-3 at halftime, I was like, all right, Ben Johnson's going to make adjustments. They could still find a way to be in this game come the fourth quarter. And meanwhile, that's what they did. And I don't know. Just my whole For You page on TikTok is Saddam Hussein x Brandon McManus. And two missed field goals and an extra point. It's like the Packers should have won that game.
Yeah, sure.
Call him it.
Brandon McManus is a terrorist.
There it is.
KT, we know a little thing about bad kickers, don't we?
Yeah,
we sure
I want to bring up every kicker in both college football and the NFL. Like the last month has been horrible. Like what? These are the reasons why they're losing it. It's the reason why John Harbaugh got fired a week early.
Yeah.
Jake Elliott was missing stuff. We could talk about Jaden Fielding. We could always talk about Jaden Fielding. But
watching these guys kick in the NFL makes me question. I'm like, maybe Jaden Fielding could be an NFL kicker.
Yeah, I mean Boswell almost lost the game for them against the Ravens, yeah. And then again Brandon McManus. Just getting yipped up, I guess. But I do want to say that Ben Johnson has done like a phenomenal job, like turning that whole organization around. I would not be surprised if they beat the Rams, even though I do have the Rams winning one more game. I think Stafford still has another game in him to get it done.
Well said. Anything to add on that game, Rory? Or
I mean, not really. I was sitting there watching the game as my family was watching The Godfather, actually. So I was sitting there watching the game. I'm trying to watch The Godfather, and I was like, I actually had them turn on the game. I was like, this game's insane. Like, I've been tracking it pretty much since halftime. I had them turn on the game. I was like, this is like exactly what the playoffs is about. This is what Wild Card Weekend's about. I was like, this is probably the most entertaining thing I had seen on the NFL airwaves in a while, because I was like, we really haven't seen a team come back and do something like what they did, and for how piss poor they played in the first half. I mean, going for it on a 4th down on your own 32, like the second drive for your team, like
Right.
I thought that was just not the right decision. And then you give Green Bay great field position, so I felt like they played really, really bad in the first half. They went out on downs, I think, twice. I know Green Bay missed a field goal, and McManus did not have his stuff that day. It was awful. But at the end of the day, I will say that was a great game.
yeah, it was a phenomenal football game. To me, that was the game of the weekend. But let's move into the next game, Sunday afternoon. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Ugh, can't stand that team. Went down to Jacksonville and took out the Fresh Prince, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had been riding the hot hand on an 8-game win streak coming into that game. Another great game, but the one thing that I want to point out in that game is the nerve of the goddamn Buffalo Bills. One of the teams that voted to ban the tush push last year, and magically, now it saves their season.
Mm-hmm.
The nerve of that football team to complain about it, how they want it banned, just for them to run it every 4th down that they needed to convert. The nerve of that team pisses me off.
Into the goal line.
Yeah, it wasn't even a tush push anymore. It was a tush drive.
Every time I think that I'm a good hater, I then look at KT and the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and realize that I could be doing a better job. So
we all know how much KT doesn't like Josh Allen. And I also think that Josh Allen is slightly overrated because of how much glaze that he gets, like all over social media and everything, even though he's a great quarterback. But this was a great game from Josh Allen to come back and win this game when a lot of people thought that the Jags had a really good chance at winning this game. I knew a lot of people that picked the Jags in this game, and I just think that Josh Allen proved it at least once this playoff so far that he's able to lead something great and move on to the next round.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He proved it. He shut me up, at least for the time being. I'll have my hate watching pants, underwear, shoes, shirt, socks on Saturday when they're up in Denver taking on the Broncos.
Oh, that'll be a great game.
Yeah, with that being said, I mean, we can wait and do our predictions in a little bit, but I'm just going to say I think it's going to be – I need to see it again from Josh Allen against this great Broncos defense. I'm going to need to see it from him again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he plays well against Broncos, you have to shut up KT. I mean,
not yet. I won't, because then he's gonna have to go through somebody that I'm gonna talk about in next week's podcast, provided that he gets there. But all right, the next wild card game, 49ers and Eagles. I watched the first 3 quarters or so of it before we hopped on the baseball podcast. Similar story to what the Eagles looked like in 2023. They just fell apart. Jalen Hurts did not look that great. Sirianni getting into it with A.J. Brown on the sideline. A.J. Brown had a few drops. The offensive coordinator was apparently a terrorist. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with that kid on the sideline outside of the stadium.
Dude, he's been on like every talk show on the planet now. Like he's got news sources interviewing him. It's awesome. Yeah, I love that kid.
And that kid was on point.
Not to mention, they also parted ways with the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, Kevin Patullo.
Yes.
So that's another one. That's another one.
Whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, Kevin Patullo.
Yeah, Patullo, yeah, he lost his job, so the Eagles will be on, I think, their fourth OC in 4 years or some
Fifth
sort of
OC
stat
in
like
5 years.
Fifth OC in 5 years. Man, I sold him short. Shoot. Fifth
Yeah.
OC in
It's
5 years, so
Yeah.
the Eagles have another long offseason ahead of them. I just couldn't envision a way in my mind that Eagles team did not go back to the Super Bowl, and I picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. They probably have the most talent in the NFL on their roster, top to bottom, I think, in the entire league.
I would
But
agree. It's the
you
reason
know
why they've
what?
been to the Super Bowl so many years in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they got beat by a 49ers team who had fourth and fifth string linebackers playing, which is pretty embarrassing. But I don't know what you guys think about that game. Any thoughts? I know, Ike, you were on the pod with me Sunday night, so we didn't get to watch the end of that game. But David, Rory, you guys got anything you want to add on that game?
I honestly just thought that, honestly, when I saw Kittle go down, I thought that was a wrap for the Niners. I totally
Ooh,
was
that's
like, well, that's
right.
like the life
Yeah.
of their team. I know that they're on they're going to the defensive side. They're like on their last life with linebackers. They're missing Fred Warner. They've missed him a lot of the season, and I've heard that he might be able to come back for the NFC Championship if they make it that far, which would be pretty cool for them. But like, losing Kittle, like that's the energy, like that's the heart of the team. That's a guy that everyone relies on, much like Fred Warner. So for both of them to be out, I was like, yeah, the Eagles are going to find a way and end up winning this game. And then to see the Niners come back and, take care of business and win a game where they really were not favored to win much of the game. I mean, good for them. Kudos to them for doing that. And kudos to Shanahan for pulling through there.
Yeah.
I knew
D-Mac,
that.
anything?
I knew
Okay.
that going into that game, I actually texted one of my really good buddies is I feel like I have a good buddy that's a fan of every team, but one of my really, really good friends is a 49ers fan. And I texted him before the game and I said that this game was going to be the best game in the entire wild card round. And that's what I thought. Now it wasn't, but it was still a really good game.
Yeah.
I think the best one was that Rams and Panthers game. That was phenomenal. And you could make an argument for a lot of these games actually for being the best one. But it turned out to be a great game. I think that a healthy 49ers team is a force to be reckoned with, but the problem is that they're no longer healthy. So I great win, great Grady performance, and they got it done, but I worry about him moving forward.
Well said. Yeah, that's a really good point. They did open the practice window for Fred Warner today to come back. So will he play on Saturday? Is it? I think the game's on Saturday night. That is to be seen, but I'm assuming that they're not going to open the practice window unless they envision him coming back this week. But I don't know if it's still a 21-day rule or how that works.
Yeah, within
But
21 days they have to come back.
He has to activate him. I don't know how that works for the playoffs, but
Yeah, it's on Saturday.
all right. Okay. All right. Next game was the Sunday night game. The Pats take down the Chargers. It was a defensive shootout. Rory's happy. He's smiling. We're going to give the floor to him right away for this game. Rory, thoughts?
Honestly, what a game. Not the most entertaining game on the offensive side of the ball at all by either team. I thought Drake in the second half was pretty much lights out. I mean, he was fantastic. But I felt that, going into this game, I knew it was kind of going to be some heavy hitting, a much more defensive game than I think people really thought it would be, because I knew that, the offensive line for the Chargers, you just look at the rankings when NBC shows them. They're all like bottom 5 out of all the rankings. It's like it's atrocious what they put out there. And then, I knew New England would take advantage of that. Obviously, Herbert's hand and everything. And, that they were saying, Chason was saying after the game that, yeah, that was part of the plan, was to go after him because of ball security problems. And then, even Robert Spillane after the game, our middle linebacker, said, yeah, we talked to some of the guys, and they said that they had no idea what coverage we were in. If I'm a Chargers fan, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, like, what were you guys doing all week?
Cheaters.
Like, seriously, like, how do you not know? Like,
Scumbag.
I'm not saying that Zach Kerr or whatever his name is like all that great, or is the next Belichick. But like, how do you not know? Like, this is the NFL. You're a playoff team. You're 11.
Because he didn't have binoculars on in practice.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah. Color Stallions wasn't it? Pre-scouting them.
I found out about that, and I was like, there is no way. Like, our defense is either that good or they were that underprepared. That just seemed that didn't feel real to me.
Harbaugh gets exposed when he can't cheat, baby.
Yeah,
I know.
And
I
he
mean,
lost
maybe
at the hands of a Buckeye coach.
I completely
a Buckeye
agree
coach
with.
beat him.
I completely agree with Rory, and I don't think that it's just on the coaching staff too. Obviously, they did a poor job preparing for this game offensively, but I think it's also time to hold Justin Herbert accountable. I know he's a great quarterback, and he's definitely a top 10 quarterback, but at some point you have to win games in the playoffs. And I get it that they had some offensive linemen out and they've had other injuries, but you still have to find a way to win that game. That game was winnable for the Chargers if they scored more points.
I mean, Keenan Allen missed the one catch. He was wide open on a drag route. I could have caught that ball. Any of us on this podcast could have caught that ball. And he drops the ball. That's a free first down. And, the Chargers, I don't remember what happened after that, but the Chargers, probably punted the ball away or went for it on a 4th and short and missed. But, kudos to the Patriots defense, realistically.
That's what I was just going to say. With that being said, I mean, the Patriots did deserve to win that game. They played well on defense, and Drake May did enough to win the game and move on. So good job for him in his first playoff game.
Shout out Ike for the elite ball knowledge. If the Chargers would have scored more points, they would have won that game.
Well, they should have.
Great insight.
Great
insight.
They should have scored more points than that.
Great insight by Ike with the Booger McFarland-ism right there.
They should have won that game.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
That's crazy.
All right, good stuff.
All right,
on
yeah.
that
You
game.
know what? With that being said, Justin Herbert's a bum.
So is his coach, scumbag, cheater.
So is his DC, scumbag, cheater. All right, fellas. The last game of the wild card round took place last night. Sad night for D-Mac. He was upset. Texans knock off the Steelers 30-6. D-Mac, the floor is yours. Vent. Let us hear your thoughts on the game.
I could yell and scream right now, but instead I'm going to read you some text messages that I sent following the game. I've got a group chat where they so I'm very easy to rage bait. It is really easy to do, and it's a trait of mine that I'm not proud of. And so I've got a whole group chat trying to rage bait me after the game, but I was just so distraught that I didn't even care. So I sent the trade and fire everyone. That was the first text message. The second text message was move the franchise to Hartsville, which is the small town in South Carolina in the middle of cornfields that I was in for a while. They asked me, David, how are you feeling? And I said, like it's basketball season. And then he then said, both your basketball teams suck, though. And I said, my bad. Like spring training is around the corner. I can't read that next text message. Never mind. Let's just say it had something to do with Mike Tomlin being deceased. And then I will read this one. He said, heard they may extend Mike Tomlin. And I said, the only thing I want extended is the mag that I will pump into him.
Okay. Okay.
So you can get
right.
You can get the picture of how angry I was. It was I said trade the whole team, fire everyone, including the lunch lady. I was not very happy, and getting back to the actual football portion of this, obviously for good reason. I mean, anybody that watched that football game knew it was a shit show, and the fact that we were in that game at halftime is horrific. And of course, I'm watching this game and I'm like, okay, typical. Yep, typical. Yep, typical. Yep, typical. We get down to the red zone, and what do? End up kicking a 35-yard field goal because we can't score in the red zone. It's like it happens every single year. And then, great play made by Jack Sawyer. You saw on C.J.
Yeah.
Stroud.
Buckeye on Buckeye crime.
Forced fumble to get the turnover. And then I'm like, okay, well, what do they do with it? They go 3 and out the next possession. And I'm like, oh, what do you do? It's just like I'm sitting there. I'm so angry. I'm the most mad when I stop yelling and I'm just like, I don't talk. I don't say a word. And that's how I was last night watching this god-awful football game. And this god-awful offense. And I won't even mention the defense because the defense did their job. Yeah, they got 30 points scored on them, but that's because the offense was in and off the field with 30 seconds, and they never got a breather, so they just got gassed throughout the game. The Houston Texans did not win that game. The Pittsburgh Steelers lost that game. So I won't spend much longer talking about it. It's now the offseason. We have a great outlook. We're going to get a new coach in there, get some new blood. The draft's in Pittsburgh this year. I'm going to go. Hopefully we get some really stellar picks, and then we move on, and maybe we'll either go under 500 or win the Super Bowl. Whichever one is okay with me, as long as we don't have another first-round exit next year.
All right, Rory, I saw you raise your hand. You got anything to
I
add?
was going to say something. I watched the game last night. I watched most of the game. And I couldn't help but think, why is Rodgers Rodgers knows how bad that offense is. He totally does. Mm-hmm. He's just excited to get a first down. I mean, he was clapping and everything just to get first downs, not even to get down the field, just to get a first down. Like, that's how you know it's bad.
Really
I didn't see Drake May celebrating a first down. I don't even think he celebrated his 40-yard rush that he had up the middle. I mean, like,
Drake May.
Yeah. Game manager May.
Stud.
Exactly. So like that's how you know your offense is pitiful. It might as well have just been Cam Ward out there instead of Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's the same difference. Like, they're excited to get first downs. Like, be excited to score in the playoffs, not to get first downs.
All right.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to all my Pittsburgh friends who were telling me before this game, oh, yeah, it's going to be different this year. We're going to do something. No, you're not. You're not going to do anything. You're going to be a first-round exit just like you always are. And this game was exactly how I expected it to be, with the Texans' defense outscoring the entire Steelers. And that's all they needed to do to win this game, was outscore the Steelers by their Texans' defense. They didn't even need to score. They didn't need to score a point on offense.
Yep. Unbelievably awful. And so you have bad friends lying to you. If they're real Steelers fans,
you can go look in the comments.
Yeah.
I advise you to go look in our comments section of all the Pittsburgh content that we've posted so far. And it's just Steelers fans talking about how, it's their year this year. Same with the Pirates. And it's like, no, I knew exactly what was going to happen. You guys all saw my pick. The Texans were going to beat the Steelers in the first round. That's just how it was going to go. Just because the Steelers don't have the offensive firepower that they needed to get through this game.
I thought it was going to be closer, but it's...
Yeah, I did. And the under actually hit. The over-under was 38.5, and I thought the under was clearly going to hit, and it ended up being 36. Because of some garbage time points.
Yeah, the defensive touchdowns was a little...
I just wanted to say, Nick Chubb ended up getting his get back.
Yes, he did.
That too.
Yes, he did.
I have all the respect for Nick Chubb in the world. I love that guy. I think his story is awesome. He did great in Cleveland. I can't even hate on the guy.
That's respect. I respect that.
Phenomenal running back, and I knew that watching that game, just Browns and Ohio sports fans in general were smiling because a backfield duo of C.J. Stroud and Nick Chubb were tearing apart the Pittsburgh Steelers. I knew everybody was just smiling and laughing. But now I am rooting for the Houston Texans moving forward. Them and the Seahawks for obvious reasons on both teams. Their main offensive firepower is Buckeyes. So, yeah.
Yes, they are.
That's good stuff.
All right, guys. Good stuff in that department. With that being said, let's talk about another playoff that's going on right now. How about those 2 semifinal games that took place last week? Let's start out talking Miami Ole Miss Fiesta Bowl. Game that came down to the wire. Another from the viewer's eye and from the viewer's spectator mode. Another excellent football game, back and forth affair throughout that entire game, especially that fourth quarter. One play that I do want to bring up, how good of a ball player is Malachi Tony from Miami? That one-handed catch that he made falling out of bounds, I know it didn't count in the fourth quarter,
That is
but
sick.
I don't know if it was after or before, but then he took that little 35-yard screen to the house to give Miami the lead. And then Trinidad Chambliss comes right back, throws a dime, gets Ole Miss back up on top. Then Carson Beck leads Miami right back down the field. Miami, an offense that had been struggling throughout the playoffs, looked like they were not struggling in that game. They looked like they were pretty in sync and in tune and finding their rhythm for who they're going to come up against here in the national championship game. But I just want to hear, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that game, if you have any. My thoughts, I was very entertained, really enjoyed watching that game, and I was rooting for Miami in that game because I did not want to see an SEC team make the college football national championship just for the sake of Paul Feinbaum and all those SEC homers and those SEC hicks talking about how great the SEC is. Did not want to hear any of that. So congratulations to Miami. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that game. Anybody, floor is open.
So I'll start us off. I love your point. I was also rooting for Miami in this game to beat Ole Miss. I would have been okay with Ole Miss winning the game because I like the story specifically of Trinidad Chambliss. I've worked in Division II athletics, and he came from Division II Ferris State, and has had a stellar year, and he should be. I think that he should be a top quarterback in this next draft because he's now ineligible to continue. I love that game. Miami's best player is Mark Fletcher Jr. He is a stud. And now, granted, I don't want to gloss over their defensive and offensive lines. There's some their trenches are the best part of their game. But Mark Fletcher Jr. is a player. He is a player. Stats for that game: he didn't score a touchdown, but he had 22 carries for 133 yards. Insane. And we watched him tear up the Buckeyes too. You couldn't stop them. You couldn't stop their line. That offensive line paired with that punch of Mark Fletcher Jr. along with, you said, Malachi Tony, but also Malachi Tony had 5 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. Keelan Marion, 7 receptions, 114 yards and a touchdown. I am blown away by the way that Miami has just come into this and silenced everybody. And because of them beating us and because of IU beating us in the Big Ten title, this is the exact matchup that I wanted in the national title game, and it's exactly what we're getting.
Come on, that's loser talk.
I look, we should have beat Miami, and an Ohio State and Indiana rematch in a national title game. With Ohio State's only loss all year being a 3-point loss to Indiana would have fed families. It would have fed.
That's
families.
what I predicted too. I predicted Ohio State would rematch Indiana in the championship.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did, including myself. And now we're sitting here, and it's if you would have told me before these playoffs started that the Pittsburgh Steelers would be playing longer than the Ohio State Buckeyes, I would have laughed you out of the room. And here we are.
Yeah,
Good point.
Yeah, going off of that, you brought up Malachi Tony. Malachi Tony was 12 years old when Carson Beck started playing in college. So I just think that's interesting. But I wanted Ole Miss to win this game. I'm a big Trinidad Chambliss fan. I think he's a better quarterback than Beck, to be completely honest with you. And I think it's unfair that he wasn't able to get a 6-year eligibility. I don't know if that was true or not. Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
that he wasn't granted
the ruling behind that, and I know a little bit more of the inside stuff because I worked in Division II athletics. The eligibility ruling, and I agree with the ruling. Actually, it stinks for him that he doesn't get that extra year. But the reason I agree with it is because I think that if he would have been ruled it, then it would have set a dangerous precedence moving forward because there's a hard rule in D2 athletics. It is not the same as Division I. If you step on the field in D2 athletics, you lose your year. Period.
That's why I think it shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I think guys in D1, they are able to have that year back.
Yeah, but
So
here's the
why
thing:
is
that year was spent at a Division II.
That's what I mean.
I don't agree. I don't agree with the rule, but the rule is
Because
the rule.
I know, I
And
understand that. It's just I think it's cherry picking their precedent of the rule is because the D1 athletes are able to not step on the field, but they still spend a year at school. They're able to get the year back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's really weird exceptions to that D2 rule. Like we had a lacrosse guy at Coker, which was my Division II, that stepped on the field, but he got injured in the first game, and so that we were able to go through. It was actually a really long and gruesome process to get that guy his year of eligibility back, but he got it. D2 is actually super strict with in college eligibility. It is easier for internationals and high school guys to get eligible immediately in Division II than it is in Division I. But in terms of getting years of eligibility back in D2, it is near impossible.
Yeah, because I actually played Division II baseball for a year. I had 10 at bats in my freshman year, and I lost that year eligibility.
Yep.
I only had 10 at bats in Division II, and I immediately lost that year eligibility.
Yep.
So, I understand why that is, and it sucks, but because I'd love to see another year out of him. But I do think that he should be one of the quarterbacks that go early, and I was hoping that they were going to be able to win that game so I could see him in the championship. I did not want to see Miami in the championship, even though they deserve it. They played the best. But going into that, I don't think that Miami's going to be able to. I think Indiana's going to handle them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sid from Ice Age isn't going to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, KT, if you want to start talking about I mean, there's not much to talk about with the IU Oregon game, but I mean, we can talk about it.
I was just gonna say there was really not a whole lot to talk about in IU Oregon. It was just an ass whooping, belt to ass, 56-22.
Yeah.
When the first play of the game is a pick six, you kind of knew how the game was gonna go after that.
Yeah. The
nuts.
KT knows this. The other, obviously, you guys don't know it, but I'm a big pickleball guy. I love playing pickleball. I play it constantly, and I was in that Friday night. I was. They do this little social event at the pickleball club that I'm in, and so I was at that, and they do they put games on the TV and stuff. I stepped on the court to play, and I won like 3 or 4 games in a row. And wasn't watching the game, and that was when the game started. I step off the court and look up, and it's 21-0, and it was like a blink of an eye, and I was like, "What the hell happened in this game?" And then it just continued over and over and over and over again. I had to check on. I know 2 Oregon fans specifically, and I had to like send text messages, make sure they weren't hanging from their ceiling. You know, like it was. I just. Yeah. That was bad, but I think
that was ridiculous.
Now Dante Moore played terrible. Let's not get it like Oregon did not play well in that game. However, Oregon was quite injured, which is I think is why it was as bad as it was. However, that's not to take away from how good Indiana football is. They're the best team in the country. It's not close. Fernando Mendoza has solidified himself. There's not a single person on this planet that will go number 1 other than Fernando Mendoza. He is an unbelievable football player. And from a opposing fans' perspective, that should hate the rival. I mean, Michigan is our rival, but the team that really gave us the most run for our money this year and beat us in the Big Ten title. You should hate their starting quarterback. I can't hate this guy. Nobody on the planet can hate this guy. The way he composes himself, the way he carries himself in interviews, he's got a touch of the tism in there a little bit, I will say. He is a little bit of a weirdo. But he's a great...
That was a great term. Touch of the tism.
It's like he's sitting on rainbows with them. Like, I don't know what's going on with him.
He's a weirdo, but he's a great guy, and I don't know if you know the story behind his mother.
I've heard.
Yeah, his mother has MS, and he has donated like half of his NIL to like funding the trying to get a cure for and helping with the aiding of of MS and stuff. And there was a TikTok, I reposted it, and it was on like his mother wrote him a letter before the Heisman
I saw
ceremony.
that. Yeah.
And just like I was sitting like doom scrolling right before bed, and I hit that video, and I'm like tearing up, getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, like you cannot hate Fernando Mendoza. He works hard. He composes himself. He's performed in big moments. And he's just a great guy. And so I'm rooting for Indiana in this, even though I know a lot of Indiana fans, and I know that they just will not shut up when they win because they never won anything in their lives in football, so they don't know how to act. But still, past all that, I want Indiana to win this national title. I love Fernando Mendoza. I love Coach Kurt Signetti. I think he's the best coach in college football. I've said that from the jump.
He might be now.
So
he made us look stupid on the last pod.
Yeah.
I agree with David. I definitely want Indiana to win this game. It's the best story. They completely earned it. They beat Ohio State, who was the best team in the country at the time, and then they've gotten better every game since. I mean, they beat Oregon by 10 the first game in the regular season. Now they beat Oregon. I don't even know what ended up the score being, but it was a lot. I mean, they crushed them. But yeah, I do want Indiana to win this. I think it'd be the best story. It'd be really cool to see them go undefeated the whole season. I don't remember the last time we've had a team do that. But yeah, I would like to see Indiana win this, and I think that they will end up winning it.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well done on that. We'll skip talking over the national championship game because we basically just did right there.
Yeah.
We all said who we wanted to win and who we thought was going to win. Briefly, so we have time for games. Let's go game by game here for the NFL.
Yeah.
We'll just give our prediction as to who's going to win. I do want to spend a little bit of time playing games.
Yeah. Did you write the? Wait, what did you say? Do we have anything else to talk about before we start the games?
Yeah. Just we were going to do the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. What we'll do is we'll just give our game by game. We'll just give our prediction as to who's going to win.
Okay.
So I'll start with the first game. The first game is the Bills and the Broncos game. Altitude, first round bye, on the road again. Josh Allen up against another great defense. I like the Broncos in this game. I'm a Josh Allen hater. I'll never pick with him. Give me the Denver Broncos. I think they're going to advance and pick. As much as everything's telling me that the Bills are going to win this game, I have a funny feeling that they will. I will not pick against the Denver Broncos because they are playing the team that I hate the most in the NFL right now. So give me the Broncos in this game.
Expert hate watch.
Yeah.
This is going to be the best game in the divisional, I think. Maybe rivaled by Rams Bears, possibly. But I think Bills Broncos is going to be the best game. You're going up, an MVP caliber quarterback going up against a really good Broncos defense. That being said, I do think the Broncos take it, but it's not because of a generational hate watch by me, because nobody can match that from KT. I just think the Broncos are a better football team. But this is as close as a 1-6 seed matchup can get. I am very, very excited to see this game and see how it goes, and it'll be a close one, but I think the Broncos ended up pulling out in the win, and it's just because of that defense, and I think they get a crucial stop in the fourth quarter.
Roy?
I'm going to take the Bills on this one. I think Bo Nix and Sean Payton will have a good game plan for the Bills. I think the Bills defense kind of showed some stuff against Jacksonville. Obviously, the pick at the end there was huge for them. I think they can compete with a high caliber offense no matter what. I think, Sean McDermott's a very solid coach, and he will have his team prepared. He always really has. I don't really think I've ever really seen his team get blown out in the playoffs. And so I think we'll see the Bills, take care of business here. I think it'll be close, but it'll definitely be a good game. But I think we'll definitely see the Bills take care of business here.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with Rory. I agree with KT on this one. That I think that the Broncos are going to find a way to win this game like they've done all year. Bo Nix is going to be very similar to what he's been all year. He kind of just hangs around and then he plays good in the fourth quarter. But this was supposed to be a sophomore slump year for Nix, and I didn't really see that because he found a way to win games and people just didn't really look at how well he was actually doing, because he didn't blow the stat sheet up, but he found a way to win games. And the Broncos defense is, in my opinion, top 2 defense in the league, and I think that's going to pose trouble for Josh Allen. And I'm going to need to see it from Josh Allen, but I'm going with the Broncos, who I had picked against the Bills to start the playoffs. I'm not changing my pick, so I'm going to keep the Broncos.
All right, and then we got the next game on Saturday night, rematch of Week 18, in which the Seahawks took down the 49ers. You're going to see the same result in this game. 49ers, I would probably lean towards picking them if they were fully healthy, but they're not, and we don't live in a reality of what-ifs. We live in the reality of reality. So as much as I don't like Sam Darnold and I don't trust him farther than I can throw him in a playoff game, I'm going to pick the Seahawks just because they're at home. They have the 12th man there. And the 49ers are really beat up right now, and especially losing Kittle on offense. It may have been enough to get by an Eagles team that was dysfunctional from the word start that I should have seen coming. I like the Seahawks in this game. I don't see a way that they lose this game at home.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally think we see the Seahawks take care of business here. That defense is very solid. We've seen it from the get-go. They've carried their team to victory. Their offense has also done some really, really cool things. I mean, coming back against the Rams in the regular season to win it in OT with a 2-point conversion, that was a true spectacle of the sport right there. I also think that, Mike McDonald has his team ready each and every week. I've really never seen that team falter. I mean, that team has just come out to battle every single week. They're hunting on defense, and that offense is pretty explosive with JSN and Sam Darnold. So I'm excited to see, the Seahawks take care of business here as well.
Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best receiver in football. Period. That's the end of the sentence. He is phenomenal. Sam Darnold, yeah, you have your questions, whatever it is, but if there's one guy that's going to come up big in big moments, it is JSN. Statistical leader, first-team All-Pro for the first time in his young career. There's much more where that came from. I mean, I'm a biased Buckeye fan, clearly. The spread for this game is 7.5. Adjust it to 9.5. Adjust it to 13.5. This is going to be a blowout. And I think it's going to be a blowout because of a depleted 49ers team, but I think a healthy 49ers team, I would still maybe you question it, but especially with them being depleted, this shouldn't even be a question.
Banged up 49ers, healthy 49ers, it don't matter. You guys know who I'm going with. The Seahawks are my ride or die from the beginning. I always had them against the Patriots in the Super Bowl going back to the beginning. I just love what the Seahawks did this year, and I'm a biased fan for obvious reasons. A.J. Barner went to Aurora. But I think that Sam Darnold has he went through a lot of bumps and bruises last year in the playoffs with the Vikings, and I think he learned a lot from that, and he's making adjustments now, and I think he's been great all season with JSN, who's been the best receiver in football, and A.J. Barner, obviously, who's one of the best tight ends in the league. And then their defense, Clint Kubiak, great offense coordinator, another guy who I would have liked to see the Browns interview for a head coaching job, and Mike McDonald. But they have all the pieces to do exactly what they want this year. So I'm going to go with my team, the Seahawks.
All right, we're all in agreement on that one. Sunday afternoon, the game that's circled on my calendar, the Texans and the Patriots. This is the game that I think is going to be the best game of the weekend of the 4. I'm picking an upset in this game, boys. I really am. Give me the Houston Texans. As much as it disappoints Rory, I think the Texans are going to win this football game. I think C.J. Stroud played about as bad as you possibly can from a quarterback in the last game. I don't think you see another bad game like that from C.J. Stroud. I think he's going to lock in and he's going to get the job done. But the main area that I'm looking at here is that Texans defense is ferocious. Those guys, they're the best unit in football to me. I know people say Seattle's defense is the best. But to me, it's that Texans front, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. Those guys are monsters. And Stingley's a great corner. Kamari Lassiter, both guys that are good on the back end. Those guys are playing great football. They're hot. They're on a big winning streak as well. Give me the Texans to upset the Patriots in this game.
Yeah, as much as I will be rooting for that to happen, I've got the Patriots in this one. I think it is a decent game. And I get the argument a lot of people have used about the Patriots not really playing anybody all year. It's a valid argument. And you have a really good one, and the Texans defense is going to be really, really good, as they always are. And they've got one of my favorite Buckeye quarterbacks ever, in C.J. Stroud. Unfortunately, never beat Michigan. Otherwise, he'd be further up on that list.
Cheating.
That's
Cheating
why
is
he's
he
not
never
high
did.
on mine.
But I will be up off my couch cheering for the Texans, but I think the Patriots get it done.
I'll let Rory go last since he's the one that we want to hear the most about. But I'm also going to go with the Patriots. The Texans, I just don't. I think C.J. Stroud coasted this year. It's kind of like coming off this. He was a sophomore last year, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
So
Yeah.
he's coming off a sophomore slump, and he kind of just carried that into a third-year slump. And their defense has really been the story of that team this year and how they've been able to have success. And I just think that the Patriots will find a way with Mike Vrabel to win this game. And the Texans defense is probably the top defense in the league. But I just don't think C.J. Stroud will be able to do it. I need to see it from C.J. Stroud, and he's coming off a really bad game where he wasn't even able to catch the snaps from his center. Like, how can I trust that? Like, I'm going to trust the Patriots in this. I think the Patriots will get it done.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Ike, and I 100% respectfully disagree with you, KT. The Patriots are going to take care of business at home. If you're telling me that C.J. Stroud again in Acrisure or Heinz Field, whatever you want to call it, had 4 fumbles in the first half, lost 2 of them, threw a pick, whatever, struggled, passing the ball, and then, they found their groove in the run game. You're telling me you're going to run against the New England defense? Not a chance. You're going to have to throw the football, and you're going to have to throw it well. We saw Herbert really couldn't do that. We're going to get after him. Stroud's going to make mistakes. He's on the road again. I don't trust it. It's going to be cold weather once again. It's going to be a tough game for Stroud. And I totally think that, we're going to see Drake may take care of business. I think he's having a great game, actually. I think he's going to tear apart this Texans defense. I'm dead serious about that. I think we're going to see Drake May progressively get better. I think we're going to see him, he had a great second half against the Chargers. And to debunk trump the whole argument against the schedule, we just played the Chargers, an above 500 team. So I don't want to hear this, they played easy people. I don't care.
Rory, I'm on the same side as you with that. I don't think that that's a good argument. Like,
I don't think it matters.
I just
either.
don't think it does, because any team can win in the NFL. It's like, if you beat a team, it's a good win in the NFL. They beat the Bills.
Titans made it close.
They literally beat the Bills.
The Seahawks.
And I just think Drake, game manager May is going to find a way to win this game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you come off of a great second half. I think we see him, go for probably 250 passing yards or so, and then a couple of touchdowns, and he makes some good runs, and he makes some good decisions, and makes, it dimes the throws like he did to Hunter Henry. I mean, that was an absolute beauty. I don't think I've seen him make it.
That was a great.
I think that might even
throw.
be better than the throw against the Bills to Diggs on the sideline there. That was an absolute dime, and I think we're just going to see him, progressively get better, and I think we're going to see him against the Bills again, best out of 3 for the season, and that's going to decide it all, and I think we're going to see an absolute stellar game there. So I'm very excited to see my Patriots take care of business this weekend on Sunday.
All right, great analysis, Rory. Great job. Now the final game of the weekend, one that, not a lot of people thought was going to happen. A lot of people thought the Eagles were going to beat the 49ers and that it was going to be the Eagles taking on the Bears. But it's not. It's the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Bears. Same story as I have on the other side of the bracket. I think the Rams go into Soldier Field and get it done against the Bears. If Matt Stafford did not have that finger injury, I was going to say blowout Rams. But Stafford's a little banged up, so I'm going to say this game's pretty close. But I've got the Rams winning this game. I don't think that from the Bears' perspective, falling behind early, which they've been doing with a lot of teams, is not going to work against this Rams team, especially a team coached by Sean McVay. Sean McVay is good at smelling blood in the water. When he smells blood in the water, he goes for the kill. He goes for that bite. And the Rams' bite is a lot stronger than the Packers' bite with Matt LaFleur. The Packers let up leads twice to the Bears in the past 4 weeks. I don't think you're going to see the Rams do that. I think the Rams are going to come in there from the opening kickoff. They're going to be ready to go, and they're going to play a much cleaner game than they played against Carolina, knowing that, they got to tighten it up a little bit. And I like the Rams in this game. I don't see how the Bears can win this one.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go.
My bad. I'll let Ike go.
No, Rory, go ahead.
Okay, I agree with you on the whole argument that the Packers have, not as much play as the Rams. But I think when you see a Ben Johnson offense play smarter, right? You go out on downs twice in the first half. I think it was maybe even the first quarter against the Packers team, and then they go and score points off of it. I think you're going to learn a lot from that Packers game. You're at home as well. It's a 0-degree wind chill, and that should play more into the Bears, hands a little bit more since they're out in LA.
Good point.
So I think you're going to have the weather's going to be a problem. Yes, I did hear the reports on on Matt Stafford's finger, and maybe that has a role in it, kind of like it did with Herbert and ball security and stuff like that. So maybe we see some errant throws or some mistakes on Stafford's side. But I think that this is going to be a competitive game, a high-octane offense type of game. We're going to see a lot of points scored, smash the over on whatever the point line is.
48.5.
48. Oh, yeah, easy. I think we're going to see at least probably close to 60 points this game. And this is going to be a game this might be one of the best games of the playoffs, to be totally honest.
I agree with Rory, and I think that it's going to be the best game of the playoffs, in my opinion. And it's really hard for me to pick this game. I have the Rams from the beginning. I had the Rams beating the Packers in this game, but it's a completely different story now with Ben Johnson leading this team, and they've been on fire. It's really hard for me to pick. I'm still going to roll with the Rams because they were my pick from the beginning, and I think that Matthew Stafford's got at least one more win in him to get it done and face the Seahawks because I think the Seahawks will win. So I think that Matthew Stafford has one more win in him, and I think that he will get this done at Soldier Field. I think that the Bears will run out of steam.
Give me the Bears. Give me the Chicago Bears in this game. I never thought I'd say that in my life, if I'm being completely honest with you. Taking the Bears over the Los Angeles Rams, who have actually won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years, over them, picking the Chicago Bears. You would have told me even a year ago that I'd be picking the Bears in a divisional playoff game. I would have looked at you like you were insane. But here we are. I feel like every time I question the Chicago Bears, every time I think, they're going to lose, I thought they were going to lose last week, and they didn't. And so I'm done picking against the Bears. And I just think that the Rams are in a tough spot. Stafford is a little banged up, and I think that, yes, they got it done against Carolina, but there's a difference between playing in Charlotte, North Carolina, and playing in Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois is one of the toughest places, NFL franchise. I mean, it's a storied franchise. Those fans are insane. They're up there with Bills, Eagles. They've had so much poverty for a really long time, and yes, they've been historically good, but they haven't been in a while. And this is the first time in a lot of our lives that they're really, really relevant. I mean, they had the Jay Cutler years where they were decent, but never really like this. And now this is crazy to say, but I've got the Bears. I think against a healthy Matthew Stafford, I think I would comfortably pick the Rams, but with the banged up Stafford, along with the Rams having to go to Carolina and now to Chicago, I just think it's tough to win 2 road games in the playoffs in the NFL. And if they do, more power to them. It'll show that they're more battle-tested. But, I've got the Bears.
All right. Good pick. Good pick indeed. Not one that I personally agree with, but definitely a good pick. I think that game could go either way. But obviously, I'm sticking with.
Yeah, I gotta stick with my Rams just because I picked them before, and I gotta roll with Stafford until the wheels fall off.
All right, boys. let's hop into some games. So I'll start it out. We're playing the game. I can name one quarterback better than Justin Herbert.
All right, I'll go next. I can name 6 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert.
I can name 10 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. KT?
I wanted to go. I wanted to rack the number up a little bit, but I don't know if I can go and name 11 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert. So I'm going to stop.
I can name 16 quarterbacks better than
Jesus
Justin
Christ.
Herbert.
No.
I can name
All right.
16
All right.
quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert. Are you ready for this?
Name them.
All right,
Name
this
them.
is
God,
rage
this is
bait
gonna
now.
be this is gonna be a terrible.
Is
clip on
this
TikTok.
rage bait?
No.
All right.
Patrick Mahomes,
Okay.
Josh Allen,
Yes.
Oh God. Wow.
Matthew Stafford,
Yes.
Joe Burrow,
Yes.
With you.
Caleb Williams, Drake May.
Wait. Are we allowed to discuss these, or do you want to just
When
name
I'm
them
done.
first? All right.
When he's done. Let him
Caleb.
finish. So that's 6.
Drake May,
Okay.
Sure.
Agreed.
You just beat him.
Did you
Jordan
already-
Love.
Did you already say Lamar?
I could take that.
No. Brock Purdy,
I could take that.
Jalen Hurts,
Okay.
Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud.
No. Nah.
Hard stop there.
No.
Nope.
Lamar?
Jaden Daniels,
I would agree. He's been hurt all year, but I agree.
Bake, Dak Prescott, and Lamar. I think Justin
Lamar.
Herbert is the most overrated quarterback in football. The guy has not won a playoff game yet, and he gets blown out in every playoff game that he goes into. I would take those 16 guys that I just named, and I would rank them all over Justin Herbert if I had to start my franchise with a quarterback tomorrow.
So I was with you most of the way. 13 of those guys, I think, 100%. The 3 that I disagree with personally would be Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud, and Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, just the way he played at the end of the season, I didn't like it. But I think that one's at least an argument. I don't think that C.J. Stroud or Caleb Williams is necessarily an argument. I think Caleb Williams, give him another year, and I would say yes, but and specifically C.J. Stroud, as much of a I would love him to be great. Obviously, as an Ohio State guy, he's not. So,
All right.
Okay, for clip purposes, let me name all 16 real quick so we can post this.
I don't even know. if we
Patrick
should-
Mahomes,
Wait. Start over.
Josh
start over.
Allen,
Start over.
Okay.
Start over.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Bake, Dak Prescott, and Lamar Jackson.
Cut.
Yeah, that was just for clip purposes when we post that clip.
I know.
'Cause you guys we were talking in the middle of it
I
and kind of
understand.
broke up the clip.
Okay.
But
Can we talk
Okay.
about how
yeah,
Herbert is not a top 10 quarterback?
Herbert
He's
is
not.
not a top 10
He is
quarterback.
not a
He's
top
not
10.
even
Easily.
top 15.
Easily.
No.
He's a
No,
top
look at
7
his stats.
quarterback.
all right.
No,
Well,
he is
yeah,
not.
Okay, so KT's insane one way and you're insane the other way.
How am I insane?
Gotcha.
It's just a consensus
Okay,
that he's one of the best passers in the league. Yes, I'll name
really?
6 quarterbacks.
Wow,
I'll
he
name
really-
6.
KT,
I'll name
you
6
might-
quarterbacks better.
Give me the 6.
Oh,
Okay, Mahomes,
yeah,
Okay.
Josh
Yes.
Allen,
yeah,
100% yes.
Burrow,
Yes.
yes,
Lamar,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Stafford,
Okay.
and Drake May.
Nope. I would put
No.
Hurts over him.
Hurts
Put
is
Trevor over him.
above him.
Dude, Hurts is not anywhere close to how good Herbert is.
I'll put Shadur Sanders over him. I'll put Aaron Rodgers over him. I'll put.
All right.
D-Mac goes, you're insane one way.
Trevor
he's
Lawrence
insane the
is
other.
not better than
That's a
Herbert.
perfect combo.
How is Trevor Lawrence better than Herbert?
Trevor
Because
Lawrence
when they
did a
played
lot
in that
this year. He was
playoff
good.
game,
That
I don't
does
know if you
not
remember
matter.
when they played in that playoff
That does not
game,
make him a better quarterback.
Herbert was up 27-3, and Trevor Lawrence scored 27 unanswered on him and beat him.
Okay, again,
That is an all-time.
and Caleb, there is no way Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Herbert.
I
No
agree.
way.
I agree
He's
with
not.
that. I
There's
agree
just
with
not.
that.
It's just
Totally
not.
agree with
That's
that.
not true.
Yeah.
He's only he was not that good last year, and he wasn't that good the year before.
And he's gotten some luck this year too.
He's in the playoffs this year, but just because you make it to the playoffs and you win a game, does that mean you're a better quarterback than somebody who's been great every regular season that he's played
Unless
in the
you
league?
Well, Trevor Lawrence has more playoff wins than Herbert.
Regular season.
That doesn't.
No.
Again, but that's what we're comparing. We're just comparing who's a better quarterback.
I think Trevor Lawrence
All
is a better
around quarterback.
quarterback.
Well, you think Hurts is too? Because there's no way Hurts is a better passer than Herbert.
Hurts is a better quarterback. I don't care about passer.
Well, that's
There's
what
more to a
matters.
quarterback
Well, I mean,
than
he's-
being a
Hurts-
passer.
Hurts is a pretty
but-
blame passer compared to Herbert.
Okay, fine. Herbert might be a little bit better of a passer, but Hurts is a better quarterback.
Not even a little bit. It's a lot of bit.
It's a lot. It's like a ton.
I think that I still like Jalen Hurts over him because of everything else that he does.
Also, we could say Stroud. Stroud had one good statistical year. I mean,
Stroud smoked his pack and chewed his bubble gum in the
Stroud
last
has more
playoff
playoff
game.
Stroud has more playoff wins than him. Yes, but I don't think that
Yes.
that means he's a better quarterback. Stroud also sucked in that
agree.
game.
I agree.
Stroud sucked.
I agree. I'm in agreement there. Like I said, both of you are insane on completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Justin Herbert.
I mean, it's been a consent. I mean,
Justin Herbert
people
is.
say Justin Herbert's easily a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
people.
and people also smoke crack and talk from their other crack.
Yeah. So, and that's
People
that's
like
what's-
me think he's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah,
What a surprise.
yeah.
What a surprise is right.
How was that a surprise?
Justin Herbert is not a top 10 quarterback, but he's also not a bottom 10 quarterback either.
He is way above average.
Like, way.
I would take
way
Justin Herbert on
excessive.
my team in a heartbeat
Well, I would take Justin. Well, okay, yes, you're a Cleveland Browns fan, and I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
because he's an
Of course-
above average quarterback.
Of course, both of us
Yes.
would take that guy on our team because of the situation.
So
that we've
what?
been
So
in.
what's average to you guys?
Average is between
What's an average
ranks
quarterback?
13 and 17.
Okay, so
in
he's
the
above
quarterback
that.
spectrum.
He's an
I would
above average
say,
quarterback.
Okay, I put him in the 10 to 15 category.
I agree.
Really,
I agree.
the 9 to 11. I think he's in the 9
I put
to
him
11.
at 17.
No.
I don't think you've named me
that's
besides
insane.
the 6 that I named. I don't think there's one other quarterback on there that's a better overall quarterback than Herbert.
All right, I'm pleading
You
the
don't
fifth
like
at
Lawrence?
this point.
Yeah, I
because I'm
No,
gonna get
there's no
myself
way
in
Lawrence is a
trouble.
better overall quarterback than Herbert.
Yeah, he is. And
What
I
has
hate that
Lawrence
guy.
done?
I hate that guy. I can't stand him, but he's a better quarterback.
I don't think so.
Win
Maybe in
play- win a
college.
play-
All right, guys.
In college, he was.
All right, guys.
College
Let's
counts,
move
right?
on
You didn't know?
to the football picnic game. Are you guys ready? This is the football picnic game. I know the category. Ike knows the category. Rory knows the category. It is on DMAC to figure out what the category is and who he can and cannot bring to the picnic. I will start. I'm having a picnic, and I'm going to bring Dabo Sweeney to the picnic.
Rory, you go.
I'm going to bring Jim Harbaugh to the picnic.
Ike?
I'm gonna bring Mike McDaniel to the picnic.
Hold on. Cut. Ike, did you look at the category you bought?
No. I thought you were gonna tell me what
my-
it was.
Okay. Start over. This is why I wanted to leave some time. Okay. Start over and look at the category.
I was gonna say that one threw me a curveball,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
can't
glad
see
that I'm
it.
not
Okay.
tweaking. Okay.
Dude,
Highlight
you're
it.
supposed to go
Take
and
your
highlight it
cursor.
yourself.
Okay.
Highlight it with your cursor
Okay,
and
you
look
didn't
at
tell
it.
me that.
Oh my God.
Dude,
What?
got
You
a
never
bucket
told me
to
that.
the
I wasn't even
park.
on here when
All
you
right.
Either
All
way,
right.
this isn't getting
You're
posted.
such a puppy, Ike. Come on.
Yes, it is. I was
Count
going to
my. Give me
post
my
this, yes.
quarters. No, we are going to post it, but it's going to be edited. We're not going to post the whole thing.
Yes, I'm gonna start it over.
I understand.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
You got the category, Ike?
Yes.
Okay. This is the football picnic game. I know the category, Rory knows the category, and Ike now knows the category. It is up to DMAC to figure out who he can and cannot bring to the picnic and figure out what the category is. I will start. I'm having a picnic, and I'm going to bring Dabo Sweeney to the picnic. Rory?
I'm gonna bring Jim Harbaugh to the picnic.
I'm going to bring Nick Saban to the picnic.
I'm going to bring Mario Cristobal to the picnic.
I am going to bring Kurt Signetti to the picnic.
I'm gonna bring Dan Lanning to the picnic.
DMAC, who would you like to bring to the picnic?
Can I bring Lane Kiffin to the picnic?
No, you cannot bring
What?
Lane Kiffin to the picnic.
Oh,
think we-
You
man.
cannot.
I think we named everybody on the list, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Last one, I'm going to bring Sharon Moore to the picnic.
That's the only other one I could think of.
Yeah, no one else is coming to the picnic.
No one else is coming to the picnic.
No one
Can
else
you
is
guess
invited.
what the category is, DMAC?
Well, so my first look at things was like overrated or shithead football coaches, and then you mentioned Nick Saban, and I was like, okay, well that's wrong, because I heard Sweeney, I heard Harbaugh, obviously Moore stinks, and he's more worried about something else than he is football. So, oh man, I guess maybe. My guess would probably be football coaches that have. Oh no, because there'd be way more than that. Goodness gracious, this is gonna be some super obscure category.
No, it's not as difficult as
It's
you
not
think.
crazy.
So so my first look here now is like maybe coaches that were on some staff that won a national title.
You're getting warmer.
Good thinking, but no.
Yes.
You're getting warmer.
Because if I'm thinking, obviously Sharon Moore was a coordinator on that Michigan team. Harbaugh was the coach of that team. Saban's obviously won a national title.
We got to give him a hint.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a hint. Well, all of these coaches have accomplished this feat within the past 7 years.
Okay, they've all qualified for the college football playoff.
You're getting warmer.
You're getting warmer.
Have they've won a college football playoff game?
They've won something in particular,
They won. They all
It's
have
about a win,
this
yes.
one thing in common.
and it's
Yes.
not a title.
They've won something and it's not a title. Is it a conference title?
Close.
Think about your favorite football team. That's
Oh,
the
it's
last
gonna
hint
be
I'll give you.
That's a pretty good hint.
Have they all beat Ohio State?
Yes.
You're scorching hot right now.
They've all,
Yeah.
God, man, they've beat Ohio State in a important game, or they're like a positive record against.
Think personal. Think more personal than that.
Think a special someone.
Personnel.
They've all
Think of a special someone.
they all own Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All
Except-
of these coaches have beaten Ryan Day.
Yes, have beaten is better because Dan Lanning does not own Ryan Day. Dan Lanning has only beaten
Oh.
him once.
Oh, no.
Ryan Day owns Dan Lanning.
42
All right, so-
21, baby. 42.
Also, I think
42.
Signetti's only beaten Ohio State once too, or Ryan
One.
Day once.
Yeah, he lost the
Because he
first
lost.
time.
So they're
the
both
first
1-1.
one last
got
year.
belted first time.
Yeah,
by
they're
the
both
way.
one.
Wait, didn't Kirby Smart
Yeah, he
beat him
got
too?
Oh, he did. We forgot about Kirby
Yeah.
Smart.
Oh, we did. Oh,
We did. We forgot about Kirby
I don't think
Smart.
it would have helped him though. Really, it would have made it more
No,
confusing.
No,
honestly.
no, it wouldn't have.
Because then it would
helped
have brought an
Anything
SEC.
would've been like,
It would have
oh,
brought an
completely
SEC, and he would have been confused.
you. Okay. Do you guys want to play another round of that?
Yeah, I mean we can.
Sure,
I mean,
I'd like to come up with a new category. Sure.
You'd like to be the one to guess the category?
Honestly, I think we should just move on to wavelength. I think wavelength's fun.
You want to play wavelength?
Do you
I
wanna
don't know
move
if we're
on?
gonna have enough time to play a whole round of wavelength.
You don't think?
Like,
we have
we're
20
all
minutes,
four of
don't
us.
we?
We do, but I don't know if we're gonna have enough time for all four of us to.
I mean,
get
I don't
around
have to
it.
go. You could just do the 3.
Okay, all right, D-Mac, do you want to play wavelength or play another picnic round?
What's the wavelength? Is
So-
that when you both are trying to match an answer or something?
No, we're trying to match. We're trying to match a number. I'll show you how it works.
Yeah, so we.
So,
Yeah, you said-
Rory, you go first. You go first. Put your head down. This is football wavelength. Oh wait, hold on. Let me before we go, Rory. You can put your head back up. So, D-Mac, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold up a number that Rory can't see, and what Rory's gonna do is he's gonna ask you football questions, and you have to give a player or a coach or a corresponding thing that correlates with that number.
Like in
So,
the
for
scale
example-
of ranking.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
So, and he could ask you college football, NFL football, conferences, players, anything.
Yeah, so something like, so it could be like, name me an Ohio State quarterback. Say the number's 10. Name me an Ohio State quarterback in the past 10 years. You would probably say, I don't
You
know,
could say
probably
Troy Smith.
C.J. Stroud,
Or
right?
Troy Smith, the last
In the
Heisman.
past 10 years.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He wouldn't.
So he would say C.J. Stroud,
yeah, the last 10
probably.
years, yeah.
Wait, so
Or some would say
the
Barrett.
number is you're rating them on a
So
scale
I'm just-
of 1 to 10 or what?
Yeah,
yeah,
on
yeah,
a
yeah,
scale
yeah.
of 1 to
It's
10.
like you give him a
yeah.
best player for number 10, worst player for
Like
number
receivers
1.
in the NFL.
For one,
JSN
fives in the
for a
middle.
10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got you.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
Rory, go ahead and put your head back down. All right. This is football wavelength. The number is. All right. Rory, you may lift your head. We'll go one time through so everybody can go.
Okay. KT. Name me a Bills player.
James Cook.
James Cook. So we're around an 8 or a 9. Ike on the mic. Name me a Cleveland Brown.
On the team right now or all time?
Team right now.
Okay. Judkins.
Okay. D-Mac. Name me a all-time Pittsburgh Steeler.
It's a lot of 10s.
There's also a lot of zeros.
Hey, settle down. Artie Burns is one of those. Burnt toast. We'll go.
Mason Rudolph.
We'll go. We'll go Santonio Holmes.
Okay. I'm going to go with an 8.
Oh, it was a
It was a
9.
9.
It was a 9.
It was a 9. You were
That's
so
a good guess.
close.
Yeah.
Great guess. Great guess.
Does David
All right.
want to go now?
Yeah, so to make this easier for a clip, D-Mac, talk through out loud what you're thinking, okay?
Okay.
So be like, okay, so I hear this, I'm thinking this, which makes me lead. So
Got
just
you. I got you.
like that, okay? All right, so put your head down, D-Mac. This is football wavelength. David's number is... Okay. We've got your number. You may begin.
All right. Let's go. Rory, give me a college football team in the Big Ten.
The University of Minnesota.
Okay. I'm sitting at like a 4 maybe right now. I think they're just slightly below mid in general. So I'm thinking 4, maybe 5, 3, 4, 5, but 4 probably right now. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna stick with the college football trend. I think I'm gonna go around conferences. So Ike, give me a college football team in the SEC.
All right. Pull up the teams. All right. Kentucky.
Wow, that moved the needle down quite a bit. I'm now sitting at like a 3. Kentucky football is not good and never has been good. Getting a lot of guys out of the portal right now. Got a new coach in there, Will Stein from Oregon. Excited about their future, but their past and their present has been awful. So that moves it down to about a 3 right now.
Basketball school.
Definitely, and that's not even a question.
Big time.
We'll go. We'll go KT. We'll do. I mean, the same thing, but the ACC.
All right, let me get the ACC teams pulled up here. We'll go Florida State this year.
Wow, and that may knock it down even more. It's a low number. I think Minnesota threw me off a little bit because I think they're decent, but I'm gonna go with 3.
You got
Bang.
it.
Let's go.
Attaboy.
Let's
There you
go.
Three.
Let's go.
Got it.
Attaboy, D-Mac.
Stick with the gut.
All right.
KT, are you up?
All right, yeah, I can go.
We have enough
All
time
right.
for both, so it's fine.
Okay, perfect.
All right. This is football wavelength. KT's number is a. All right. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right, Rory, we'll start with you. Give me a current or all-time Notre Dame player.
A current or all-time Notre Dame player. Xavier Watts.
Ooh, Xavier Watts. Okay. Pretty good cornerback. No, not Leonard Moore. Xavier Watts was a free safety, I believe, right?
Yes.
From Notre Dame. He got drafted somewhere. I don't know where he got drafted. Falcons. Okay.
Yep.
But he was pretty good in college. So I'm sitting right now at about a 6 or that other number that we left in 2025. We're sitting around there. All right, we'll go to you, D-Mac. D-Mac, give me a Buckeye quarterback in the past 15 years.
Okay. In the past 15 years. Let's go Troy Smith.
All right, Troy Smith. I think that was a little bit longer than 15 years ago.
Okay,
but
no,
I'll still
okay.
make that
I'll
work.
give you another one. We'll go.
It's a little farther.
Yeah, we'll go. That is. You're correct.
I think he won it in 2005.
I was overshooting it a little bit. We'll go. Will Howard. We'll go Will Howard.
Good answer. Okay, so I'm still sitting at about that same 6 or 7 kind of area. Hilarious.
I thought we left it at 25.
Yeah, we did.
It's back in the Big Ten.
We did. But I had to say it because in order for the clip, and people can do the hand gestures in the comments. But Ike, give me a playoff team left right now in the NFL.
All right. Let's see.
If you say the Bills, I'm going to kill you.
Well, I think that would be. I think if I said the Bills, it would ruin the rest of the game.
Well, maybe not to me because I would think they're a 1, but
That's what I mean. That's why it would ruin the game.
It's a broken
All right.
scale.
I'll say the Rams.
Ooh, I'm sitting at a 7 now. I'm sitting at a 7 now. That's what I'm gonna go with, the 7.
Yeah.
Bang.
That's it.
Bang!
Got it. All right.
Wait, what was your thought
Last
process?
but not least,
What was your thought process on the Rams?
pretty good team, but not the best of the best left. The Seahawks
It was like a
obviously are
perfect.
probably the
I thought it was a
betting favorite.
perfect.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was definitely perfect.
I think it-
definitely
I think
perfect.
you
I mean,
could've used the
you helped me
Bears
get
there
it,
as well.
so
Yeah, I could have. Yeah, you're right.
you helped me get it. So I mean, you guys clearly did your jobs. So last but not least, Ike on the mic's turn. Go ahead, Ike. Put your head down. This is Football Wavelength, and Ike's number is.
Why are you laughing?
Okay. Ike, we have got your number.
All right. I'll start with top left. So I'll start with David. I'll keep it in the NFL. Give me a. There's 4 teams left in the AFC. Give me an AFC offensive player that's left in the playoffs.
Okay. Any offensive player left? Thinking we got Bills. We've got
Bills,
Tech-
Broncos,
okay.
Patriots.
Patriots and Texans.
Pats.
Okay. Bo Nix.
Okay.
All right. Roy, we'll do the same thing, but we'll do defense in the AFC. So any player on defense that's left in the playoffs for the AFC.
Milton Williams.
Milton
That was
Williams.
quick. Wow.
All right. And then KT, we'll do NFC offense left in the playoffs. Any player.
NFC offense left in the playoffs, so we got the 49ers. We'll go Jawan Jennings.
All right. I think I'm sitting at like a 5 or a 6. But I think it could be a 4, 5, or a 6. I think it could be any one of those. I know it's one of them. There's no way Jawan. There's no way
You need an
Jawan.
extra question.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk through it first
Okay.
because I know there's no way Jawan Jennings is over a 7, and there's also no way that Bo Nix should be over a 7 either. I'm gonna go. But Rory also likes his Patriots guys. I'm gonna go 6.
Got it.
Bang!
Nicely done, Ike.
Bang!
All right.
Nicely done. All right. You guys, we got 7 minutes left in the recording. Are you guys cool if I end it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you guys want to talk about anything else, we could talk about anything. Unless you guys were done now.
We could talk off camera if you guys want
Yeah, that's
about
fine.
anything, unless there's something like big, because we only have 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
We
don't
can
want to
just
rush
call
you
it then.
guys. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.